welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be starting a new what if called What If Naruto Had the Shield from Rising of the Shield Hero. If you haven't watched the anime, I recommend you go watch it. I think it's a pretty good watch. You might enjoy it. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. We open this part with Naruto wandering through the woods, trying to find the owner of this weird shield that he just mysteriously found on the ground. And out of just pure interest, he puts it on, and Naruto notices that, like, the minute he puts it on, all, like, little weapons, like the shuriken and junk that he, carved, or not carved, but, like, found off the ground and stuff, they just kind of like fall off. Like, they just remove themselves from his body. He tries to pick them back up, but it's like he gets hurt every time he tries. So confused, he kind of just leaves them alone, thinking that, oh, they might just have seals on them and the owner might have just activated them. But he needs to find the owner of the shield. So as Naruto is like wandering throughout the woods trying to find this owner, he thinks he gets like cut on his arm. Cause like I'm gonna say he walked into like a thorn bush. Not paying attention, he walked clean through a thorn bush. Him actually realizing that he walked through a thorn bush, a few moments later, he looks around on his body to see if he has like any small pricks or whatever, or if he's bleeding, and he's not, which is confusing. So he kind of just keeps walking, keeps looking for the people that own the shield, and eventually he runs across these 4 kids. And when he runs across these 4 kids, he notices that one of them isn't having the greatest of times. So Naruto, not really trying to hear what anyone has to say, the first thing that he does is he sees the biggest one, so he figures that he could be the best target for this. So Naruto jumps out and he's asking them like, what do they plan on doing with Hinata? And they're like, what do you care? You're just the Nine Tails. And when they see the thing that Naruto has on his wrist, they're telling him, hey, give me that. And Naruto tells him like, no, I have to find the owner of this. This isn't mine. And Naruto looks back at Hinata and tells Hinata that maybe she should go and get her guard before things have to get ugly, because he doesn't think that he is strong enough to deal with these guys. So Hinata gets up and she like starts running toward the last place she saw her guard. And when she gets to her guard, she starts bringing him back to where she just was. Now we're gonna move over to Naruto's perspective. So after Hinata runs off, Naruto turns around and they tell him that, yeah, it's not yours, you're gonna give it to us. And Naruto was like, no, I'm not. So they begin to like try to fight Naruto, but as they're fighting Naruto kind of notices that like none of their punches are really hurting him. But this is strange because these are the same kids that were trying to bully him not too long ago and their punches hurt it. So confused, he kind of just shrugs it off and he defeats them easily, kind of, because their attacks don't hurt. He's not skilled, it's just since their attacks didn't hurt, he didn't, yeah. So like when Hinata and her guard get back, the only person that's there is Naruto. And when the guard sees Naruto, the guard kind of like looks in disgust. So Hinata like looking up at the guard, at her, looking up at her guard, she starts telling the guard that this is the guy that saved her, but the guard cuts her off halfway, believing that Naruto was the one that did this to her in the first place. So he gets mad, like he starts berating Naruto, and then he calls some Shinobi over there to arrest Naruto, because what it looks like is Naruto just beat on 3 other kids and he was abusing Hinata and junk like that. So when the Shinobi put Naruto into custody, Naruto is looking at Hinata, and Hinata, she's shy, still she doesn't know what to do in the situation. And Naruto, seeing that she doesn't know what to do, he doesn't hold her accountable for it. But he knows that if eventually, if she comes clean, whatever is about to happen to him ain't gonna happen. So Hinata, like Naruto, like is looking at her with like a very serious face, and Hinata kind of gets the energy that Naruto's giving off. So she like turns toward the guard and she's asking him why is he doing this, and the guard tells Hinata that she won't have to worry about Naruto anymore because he's gonna go away, or they're gonna put him somewhere where he can't bother you anymore. And Hinata and the guard takes Hinata back to the Hyuga compound and starts telling her dad. Her dad, in this version of events, really cares for his daughter, so, and he likes to hear what she has to say. So he kind of goes and asks her, and when Hinata tells her dad what happened, her dad is mad at how the guard handled it. He handled it as like, oh, it's just the Nine Tails, instead of handling it as, this could have been the kid that just saved my, like, the person that I was supposed to be protecting. He did my job for me. So he kind of like, he tells the guard that, you know, he's fired, he's done, and he has to go make a trip up to the Hokage's office. So when he gets to the Hokage's office, he tells Hiruzen what actually happened, and Hiruzen tells the rest of the shinobi that were involved to let Naruto go. And when Naruto gets released, he's met by Hinata and her dad. And Hinata tells like the dad that that's him. And when the dad sees a shield on his hand, he's like, what is that? Like, I haven't seen anything like that before. And Naruto was like, oh, I found it like in the woods or whatever. And I don't know whose it is. I was looking for it, for whose it is, but I couldn't find it. And Hinata's dad reassures him that you won't find anyone around here with something like that. No one around here owns anything like that, if I'm not mistaken. And I know almost everyone in the village. And Naruto kind of like realizing that, yeah, this is like somebody that is like a higher up in the village, basically. So he like just takes his word for it, and he's like, so is it mine now? And you know, the dude's like, maybe you can get it appraised, but like, yeah, I guess it is yours. And Naruto's like, I don't want to try to get it appraised. People tend not to like me or want to take my stuff if it's valuable. So Naruto, like, Hinata's dad, after hearing that, he's kind of confused. And like, as they're walking Naruto back to his house, they see that Naruto's like apartment has been vandalized and broken into. And when they go further in, they see that Naruto basically has nothing. The only thing that he has literally is a crate and a box of like ramen in the refrigerator and the microwave. That's legit about it. So like, the dad, he's filming. Like, now Hinata's dad is filming, because although he doesn't know who Naruto's dad is, he does know that Naruto has a Nine Tails in him, and they can't have something that powerful living like this, because then if Naruto dies unknowingly or gets mad unknowingly, he can destroy the entire village without even knowing. So, you know, he tells Naruto that he should come, you know, live in the Hyuga compound. Naruto he's not really trying to intrude, so he tells him like, no, it's fine. He could just board up his door again, and you know, stuff like that. And dude's like, so how often do you leave your apartment? And Naruto's like, oh, I don't leave it normally for weeks on end. That's why because every time I do leave, if I'm gone for too long, someone's breaking into my house. So Naruto, after like telling him this, Hinata's dad doesn't want to hear none of it. He just grabs Naruto and they just walk out of his building. So when Hinata Hinata's dad and Naruto get back to the Hyuga compound, everyone's watching Hinata's dad drag Naruto throughout the Hyuga compound. But they weren't expecting Naruto to end up living in the big house with the main branch of the Hyuga clan. So if I was saying Uchiha clan at one point, which I felt like I was, but if I wasn't, that's okay. I hope I wasn't, because if I was, that's fucking stupid and I'm sorry. But if I wasn't, then that's okay too, because that means I'm not stupid. Anyway, I just felt like I should say that. If I was saying Uchiha, that's my bad. Anyway, so Naruto, like, he gets his room and Hinata tells Naruto that she has to go train with Neji, and Naruto kind of tells her that the entire time that he was talking to her dad, she was basically silent, and Hinata, like, doesn't really say anything. She kind of just walks off, and Naruto was like, did I say something? And Naruto was like, I guess I can go see what they training, what's going on with them. So, like, he goes and he sees, like, Neji is, like, teaching Hinata how to do certain stances and junk. So, like, Naruto is he's just sitting there watching, and Neji kind of tells him, he walks over there and he thanks him for, you know, saving Hinata, or whatever he had to do to, you know. And, like, Hinata's dad walks up and tells him that, you know, they can't necessarily help him with training, but what they can do is probably see if they can get someone to train him. And Naruto, you know, he's not really used to seeing this side of people, because people normally, they either looking at him with disgust, fear, or hatred. He never gets that in between. The only person that really gave him that, honestly, for the first time, was Hinata. When she looked up at him with happiness but confusion, it was, you know. So, well, scared, happy, and confusion when they first, yeah. Anyway, so, like, he tells Naruto that he could go out and probably go into the village, and if he wants, they could send a Hyuga escort with him. And Naruto's like, nah, it's fine, I think I'll just go by myself. And Naruto wanders off into the Leaf Village, where he runs into Sasuke. And when he runs into Sasuke, him and Sasuke end up kind of hitting it off, because Sasuke was interested in the thing that he had on his arm, and he was also interested as to why Naruto got thrown in prison and then bailed out that same day. So him trying to press Naruto to figure out, like, what this man know or how strong he is, he ends up, you know, telling Naruto, hey, let's go train. So Naruto and Sasuke end up going to train, and as they're training, Sasuke ends up, you know, getting just a tad bit irritated, because he realizes that a lot of his hits are not really affecting Naruto. And this thing that he has on his arm, he's kind of just blocking anything that he can with it. Like, some of his shuriken he's blocked, and Naruto has been able to hit him away with the shield, shit like that. So he kind of gets mad, he jumps back and he shoots a fireball jutsu at the shield. Now, Naruto, knowing that this small shield isn't really going to be able to block that, he jumps out the way, but not before kind of like this, because he jumped out of the way, but the way the fireball was coming, he had to use the shield on one part of it, like on one part, or he was going to end up burning a part of his body. So, you know, he kind of moves the shield and he jumps out the way, and the shield ends up hitting the fire, and like nothing really happens, and Naruto notices that his clothes are on fire, but it's not really, like, it hurts, but it's not damaging. And when Naruto puts his arm out, he sees that, like, it burned. Like, he has burns on his hands, but it's not as bad as it would have been. But, like, Sasuke is confused, like, that's crazy, because that was my max level fireball, and you just kind of jumped out the way and, you know, got hit by some of it. You're still walking around. I'm confused. How'd you do that? And like Naruto, confused too, he kind of like takes Sasuke back to the Hyuga compound to show Hinata's dad. And when he does it in front of Hinata's dad realizes that this shield is strong because it's surviving stuff that normal metal would have been melted by. So they kind of, like, the dad kind of takes more interest in the shield. So now he's trying to figure out the capabilities of it. And this is where I'll be ending this part off. Leave y'all right here. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a like. If y'all enjoyed the content, please subscribe. Anyway, this has been Shinobi. Peace.